All right, it's time for another weekly Squardle. This is number 185. If you're not familiar with Squardle, it's like Wordle. On a grid, we're guessing a row and a column at the same time. This 8 is how many guesses we have remaining. And I'm just going to go with a traditional solve, try and get as many guesses left as possible at the end. And I like to start with store, so why not? Okay, well, we got a lot of information, but is it useful information? I mean, there's a T in the second row, not in the column. There's S and R in the row here. We got a lot of information, but not... I mean, we could do an O here. We could also do an O here. Or here. Here would be a good O. A good place for an O right now. Let's do an O third. And we could do an E at the end. Let's go with that, and then new letters. So, well, we could do S. We could do the S still. But S second is possible, but less likely, I feel like, than some of the other places. So let's not. Let's go new letters. So let's do... we could do choke. I don't know about the K. We could do chore, but I don't... You know, this can't be an R here, but it could be there. We could do phone. That's probably better. It's probably better. Let's go phone. Okay? Well, interesting. We got the E there. We're continuing to narrow in on the O. There's an N somewhere. There's an H. There's a T and an H. T and an H. They're probably together. It's probably TH. It's probably something like lathe. That's pretty good. It could also be lithe, though, actually. Oop, there we go. That's what I'm going for. Lithe or lathe? Or bathe? Bathe? But L's better. Okay, let's do S now, because we have the S in the row and the column, and I'm thinking T here. We could do ST. I know there's not a T for the row because of that second column, but stare. That's not terrible because we do have the R in this first row and the fourth column, and this will potentially rule out 2 more spots for both of those, or indicate where it could be. Stare's not terrible. A and I are new vowels. Let's go for it. Well, the T was good. So it's got to be TH, right? This is H at the beginning, but it could be. It could be. It's possible. I like the H there, though. We've got A in the column and the row. O and A. O and A. We could do OA like this. I'm not thinking S here, because if that's an S, then the H is definitely fourth. I don't think that works, so I don't think S is going to be second there. I'm thinking fourth or fifth. I'm kind of thinking at the end, but, well, we could do SH here. So maybe we go with SHA. That's not bad. We have an H in the row and the column. And there's an R. Ooh, there's an R in the column and not the row, so it can't be like sharp. Well, there's no P. We could do something like shave or shake or shame. Because we do have the E in the row and the column, those last row and column. Well, not necessarily in the column, because we already found an E. There could be another one. But V, K, M, I don't know which one's better. Let's do the V. I'm feeling V. Let's go shave. Okay. I don't hate that. S, H, S. We found the S's. There's an I and an N. There's no V. I should have done shame or shake, apparently, but that's okay. This is interesting with the S fourth in both spots, because there's not an E at the end. There's no P. Could do an SK, but then K at the beginning. It's a great... we have an R. Okay, the R is not going to be after the S. The R is not third. Their R is not first, so I think this is a definite R, actually. And then in the column, oh, and it can't be after the S anyways because of the yellow R. You know, I checked for the R, and then I just ignored the clues that I got about the R's. Okay, for the column, it could be third. It can't be fifth. So it's third or fourth. SHR is possible, something like shrub or shrug. Otherwise, it could be there. But then this can't be I or A. Could be O. Could be O. We do have an O. Something like short or shorn. Otherwise, it could be the R. We don't really know. The R in this row, though, it can't be fifth, it can't be third, it can't be first. So it's second or fourth. We do R and R, that's possible, but actually this is pretty good for an R, which then means this is probably a U, like shrug or shrub. We haven't checked U yet. We've got O and A we still need to use in this row. And the A in the column is first or last. So let's put the A up here. We can't do like attic. This could be an O though. Adams? No, we can't do an S. I don't know if I like that. ATO, what's that gonna be? Because we can't. We can do a tone. We can do the E here. Yeah. I was thinking we couldn't do an E at the end, but we can. And there's the yellow N. So sinus is possible. A tone. Could this have an H at the end, or it could have another S. This could be like crash or brash or something. But it could also be another S, and we could do like crass or grass. Okay, sinus. We could do an H here too. Okay, we've got the T and the H, we've got the O, we've got the A, we've got the N, the I. We need an A across here. This could be an A as well. Adorn? Adorn? Maybe? What do we know about N? Where did we try an N? N. We tried it right here. And down here. So this could still be an N. Adorn, sense, grass or crass. And this I was thinking L-A or L-I. Radio. Oh, we can't have an radii. We can't have another O. We could do an I. This could also be an S. Shrub or shrug. Shrug and siege. And then, and this can be class and crass or glass and grass. So we need the C versus the G, but if this is siege, it's not helping us check for a G in the puzzle. All right, I'm gonna do siege anyways. Okay. So the question is, do we do G or C? So the double E, good. That's what we thought. Okay, all that works. You know, we've already got the G. Let's. I was gonna say let's do the G because. Is there something else that's possible? I think it's got to be one of those two, right? I was going to say we could do crags, actually, which would also, if the C is right, then great. But if not, it could potentially confirm if it's the G, just in case there's something else I'm not thinking of. I was initially thinking do the G, just because we'll have fewer black letters at the end of the solve, not that it really matters. But now I'm thinking this. Should have done the G. I should have done the G. All right. Well, it's going to take 4 more guesses at this point. Let's just do... but we got to go back to the beginning to get the G, so we don't necessarily need to do the L. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Let's just do the rows. Adorn, sinus. And then we can do anything with a G. So let's just do, I don't know. We will glide to the finish line. I was going to do the G and I talked myself out of it. All right. Well, I ended with 6. I could have had 7 if I'd done the G instead of the C, but there was no way to know which one it was, I don't think, with the clues that I had. So, anyways, we ended up with grass, lathe, adorn, sinus, siege, glass, radii, atone, shrug, and sense. Should have had a 7, but yeah, you know, the only way to get 8 or 9, 9's the best I've ever done, is to kind of get a lucky guess somewhere in here, like on your second, third, or fourth word. And I just wasn't quite getting enough information to figure any of those out, I don't think. Maybe I missed some clues that I should have seen, but anyways, there you go. That was my solve. Let me know how your weekly Squardle went. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more.